How's it going, gamers? My name is Michael SK, and welcome back to Higurashi When They Cry Chapter 7. So we're still following Rika around with Hanyu, and just going through an event that took place in Chapter 2, and I guess technically also Chapter 5. It's the little tournament that takes place at the toy store. And Rika's perspective on this was pretty interesting. We obviously didn't go through everything that we saw through Keiichi's perspective back in Chapter 2, but we saw that Rika is struggling to really just deal with the same stuff over and over again, and she feels confined to that fate. And then Keiichi's over here like, nah, you can literally just change things up. And he literally proved that a couple times, actually. So, well, I guess maybe once, and then Rika was the second time, but yeah, things can definitely change, which Keiichi was proving in the last episode. So now that is done, let us see what happens post Toy Store Tournament. This will be actually pretty interesting here, because this is actually one of the turning points where things, I guess, went south. According to Shion, this is where one of the things went south here, is because Mion wanted that toy that Keiichi gets and passes on to Rena. So let's see what he ends up doing here. Will fate be changed?
ささやかなお店だけどね。でもさ、特売やれば主婦が殺到するの常識で読めないのかね。店員足りないのに卵1パックを一人様1点限り10円なんてやるな。
Imagine that the mouths are moving. As we're getting ready to move on to the next stage, Mion got a call from work. This was fated to happen too. If I was still feeling depressed, I would have been disgusted with the situation. But after learning what it felt like to change fate, I was in a good mood. Keiichi and Mion seemed like they kept regretting that they were unable to settle the match. They really are such good friends.
本当にあの二人は仲がいいね。仲良しさんすぎてレナは焼いちゃうよ。はお。うちのクラスにはケイイチさんと近い年の男子がいませんものね。ケイイチさんにはちょうどいい男友達の感覚なんじゃありませんの？それでもみーちゃんは女の子なんだよ。男の子にはなれないよ。それは分かってますけど、こうしていると仲のいい男子同士にしか見えませんわね。
I can't remember, was this conversation playing out back in Chapter 2? Rena and Sudako enjoyed the lingering excitement of the day as they watched Mion and Keiichi happily goof off. I mean, that was kind of like the feeling that was kind of pushed on to the viewer, is that, yeah, Mion is a bit of a tomboy. And it's like, alright, that's cool, but on the inside, is she really? The next moment, the owner came out from the store.
みんな、今日は本当にありがとう。おかげでイベントは大盛り上がりだったよ。
He was holding 4 paper bags in his hands. I remember he gave us gifts as a reward for today. I think they were dolls inside, or there were dolls inside.
大したものじゃないけど、これ今日のおだちんに。
あ、吉郎おじさん。私にはないの？おだちん。
He was giving them only to us. Mion didn't get anything because she's a family member. And that's what happened last time too.
あらあらあら。可愛いのが出てきましたわよ。
Sudako let out a cheer of joy as she saw a cute doll inside of her bag. Rena reacted the same way.
わあ、これかわいい。お持ち帰りしていいの？
This one you actually can.
本当に？
ってことは俺のもかな。お、なんだかやたら可愛いのが出てきたぞ。
Keiichi got a gorgeous, expensive-looking doll. It was by far the best one. It was adorable even to my eyes. Sudako, Rena, and Mion were feeling the same way.
ケイちゃんには一番似合わないのが出てきちゃったね。
Mion started making fun of him right away. She was only saying that because she was jealous that Keiichi got a doll that she really wanted.
なんつうのか、プリティっていうか、キュートっていうか、可愛いのは認めるんだが、着せ替え人形はちょっとな。
ケイちゃんが持ってたら確実に明日から変な趣味の人扱いだね。うん。
Mion just can't be honest with herself. It was obvious that she was trying to make him give up the doll so that she could have it herself. She should just admit that and ask Keiichi for it. But that's the cute side of Mion. I bet Keiichi can never understand that. Keiichi can't keep the doll after receiving that much bullying from Mion. He was thinking about who he should give it to. He probably didn't want to give it to Mion. Time froze for a moment. Hanyu whispers something in my ear.
リカ、覚えていますですか?
Oh, here we go. Oh my god, the game actually did not... Oh my fuck. The game did not actually give me the option of whether or not I should see which choice to actually go for. I actually have to make a choice by myself, no matter what. Okay, hold up. We'll save the game here. I'll save it over slot 1 here. I'll be cautious with my slots. I advised him on who he should give the doll to. I did nothing and watched the events unfold. So, we know the answer here. And maybe this is why the game did not give us the opportunity to, skip this. This is a major plot point in the game. We are trying to change fate. That's gotta be it, right? So we would go with the first option, because we want to advise him on who he should give the doll to in order to prevent things from happening that we saw in chapters 2 and 5. I remembered that Keiichi's oh wait, hold on. That was past tense. Hold up. I remember that Keiichi's insensitive decision eventually caused a fatal ending. That was fate. Keiichi was internally thinking that he should give the doll to Mion. She was the one who didn't get anything, so it would be natural for him to give it to her. But the hesitation he was feeling was because Mion was such a close friend to him. He'd been treating Mion as if she was a male friend. But it would be weird to give the doll to another boy. He was afraid that if he gave the doll to Mion, he would start looking at her as a girl from that point forward. He wanted to continue his friendship with Mion without thinking about their difference in gender. He didn't want to ruin the relationship they had at that moment, and that's why he couldn't give the doll to Mion. Even though she was the only one without a doll, he felt so hesitant. Of course, that was only how he felt, and Mion didn't agree. In actuality, she wished he would treat her more like a girl. I walked closer to Keiichi so I could talk to him. Okay, so we did choose the right one. I was kind of confused by the use of past tense there. I don't know if we were just trying to recall previous events or what was going on there. If Mion heard me telling Keiichi to give her the doll, she would resist taking it. I had to make sure that no one but Keiichi could hear me. I also had to make this very quick. I poked Keiichi in the back.
Huh?
Keiichi, the person who really wants that doll is the one who's bullying you the most about it. I was going to say that, but Keiichi opened his mouth first, even before I could say anything to him.
わかってるって.
I hadn't said anything to him yet, but Keiichi told me that he knew. I felt confused not knowing what he just meant. He turned around to face Mion, smiling mischievously.
ミオン、俺が持ってると変な趣味なら、こりゃ誰が持ってりゃ丸く収まるってんだ？ん？
そんなことは知らないよ。まあお人形なんて男の子の持つものじゃないよねって言っただけだしさ。
ほう。じゃあお前が持てば万事解決じゃないか。
Okay, so I was really worried that I chose the wrong thing there because, yeah, the use of past tense there was kind of strange. Okay, so we're on the right track, I think.
ほれ。
Keiichi tossed the doll to Mion as if passing her a basketball. That is a fucking weird-ass face on the doll. Let's be real here. As if forcing her to carry his bag or something. Mion's face quickly turned red. Feeling shy, Keiichi turned away from her. That was surprising. He got my message just by getting a tap on his back? Was Keiichi always that smart? Just one tap was all it took. I don't think he would have done the same in a previous life. This was just a small incident, but this world is definitely different from the previous one. Or could it be... Perhaps he would have given that doll to Mion even if I didn't poke him in the back.
以前の世界の記憶を受け継いでいる。まさかそんなことあるわけがないのです。
I know for a fact that he doesn't have those memories, but there might be something imperceptible somewhere inside his heart. he might remember some of the regrets he felt in the previous worlds, and that's why he strongly felt he should be giving the doll to Mion this time. After repeating so many lives, I'm the only one who can even notice this slight growth of his. But I see it. It's clearly visible to me. Mion, having turned red, insisted that the cute doll would be a much better fit for Rena. Her attitude made it clear that she really wanted the doll, but couldn't be honest about it.
だからさ、おじさん、こういう可愛いお人形はさ、ちゃんとした可愛い女の子に渡した方が似合うと思うんだよね。私みたいなアウトドア系に渡してもほら、人形の方がかわいそうというか。
欲しいくせに顔に書いてあるじゃねえかよ。
違う、書いてなんかないよ。嘘つき、意地悪。
Mion shook her head with an embarrassed look, pretending that she wasn't interested in the doll. Everyone here knew that she wanted it. We all looked at Mion with big smiles on our faces.
おいおい、別に女の子じゃないと人形は渡せないとか、そういう考え方じゃねえぞ。こいつは俺と今日の部活で熱い睨み合いをしてくれた親友への贈り物なんだぜ。
そうなの？ケイちゃんは男の子の友達にも人形を渡すわけ？
まあ確かに選べる範囲があるならわざわざ人形は選ばねえな。でもよ、男の世界じゃ相手に悪意がない限り贈り物は拒まねえぜ。相手の気持ちなんだからよ。変に断られるとかえって男気がないよな。
じゃあその女の子でなくても人形を受け取ってもいいんだ。
Everyone thought Mion's reaction was hilarious. Rena couldn't stop chuckling. Sotoko and I burst out laughing too. Mion, having realized she was being laughed at, got even more embarrassed.
男が仲間に送ったもんだぜ。大事にしなかったら承知しないぞ。
おじさんがこの人形が欲しいからもらうんじゃないよ。ケイちゃんが仲間に送るって言ったから、ケイちゃんの顔を立てるために受け取るんだからね。
Hanyu was cracking up too. She was laughing in a loud voice, knowing that no one could hear her anyway. But was this really a good way to resolve the problem? I thought that Mion's issue in the previous life was that she wanted Keiichi to treat her like a girl. She got the doll, but Keiichi still wasn't treating her that way. Still, Mion looked very happy. Maybe it wasn't a big deal after all. I'm sure that Mion will take the doll with her to bed tonight. She'll kiss it goodnight too. I could bet on that. It was written all over her face.
ようやく受け取ってくれたぜ。人形1個渡すのに手間のかかるやつだぜ。
Keiichi turns around to face us, smiling bitterly.
ケイチくん100点満点かな僕もそう思いますです。あの意地っ張りのミオンによくお人形を渡せましたです。ミオンさんも笑っちゃいますわね。欲しいってあんなに顔に書いてあるのに痩せ我慢なんかしちゃって。
違いねえな。
こらおじさんの陰口を言ってるでしょ。こら
みーちゃん、バイト急がなくていいの？遅刻しちゃうよ。
もう覚えてなよ。
Mion seemed like she wanted to stay longer, but after looking at her watch, she started heading to work. Well, I think that worked out. At least I hope. I don't think there's a better way to go about that scenario. Everyone was wearing smiles on their faces. Today was such a fun day. Everyone had lots of fun, and no one was hurt. I've repeated the same day so many times before, but this time something was different. It's like I rolled a die and got a 6, and then I rolled it again and I got a 6 again. I don't know if this was just a lucky coincidence or if it was meant to be. It's as if the god of fate is celebrating my motivation to fight against him. Was it just me, or did like the text box freeze up there for a moment? Maybe I'm losing it. I'd like to say that I am losing it. It's a good excuse for whenever I make mistakes. And I can roll with that. Good times with Oyashiro-sama. Huh? What does that imply? The game of life is the achievement that we unlocked, but there's like a weird like spacing in it. I know you guys can't see the achievements that I get, so I'm always bringing it up. All right, so this is over at Rika's and Sotoko's place. I was watching TV with Sotoko and Hanyu after eating dinner. It was a variety show, and the performers were making the audience laugh. We were laughing too.
ざまあないでございますわね。はうはうはう。でもとっても痛そうなのです。みぱー。
While the three of us were enjoying ourselves, in reality there was only Sotoko and me in the room. I'm the only one who could see Hanyu. Sotoko can't see her at all. Hanyu responds every time Sotoko says anything. Sotoko can't hear her, but Hanyu still responds to her when she's in a good mood. It's like she's answering a question asked on TV. You could even compare it to playing house. She started playing this game with other people because she can't communicate with anyone else but me. Hanyu always attends our club meetings and has a good time there too. If she could communicate with my other friends, she would have been a good match for us. But I don't want to hurt her feelings by thinking about that. If the story of the miracle written in the old scriptures is true, if it's really Hanyu who performed it, she's someone who had tremendous power long ago. But now she doesn't have any spiritual power, and I'm the only one who could even see her. Hanyu has never told me how she lost her power. I just have to assume that her spiritual power diminished over time. There's a legend in the Furude family that says that Oyashiro-sama will be reborn if a girl is born to the family 7 generations in a row. With my birth, Hanyu was finally able to communicate with a human for the first time in centuries. Does that mean that Oyashiro-sama has returned? The villager's image of Oyashiro-sama doesn't quite match up with that of Hanyu. Especially when I see her lying on her belly and watching TV with Sotoko. Interesting. Yeah, the whole Oyashiro-sama shit has kind of been pushed to the back burner. More of like, okay, yep, this is a cult following for sure sort of deal. As we try to just figure out, how to let everyone live. That's like the main goal now, right? Survival.
確かにそんなことをどこかで聞いたような気もしたが、それってマジだったのか?
This world always has a lot of nice suggestions, but they're mostly out of politeness, right? They're just something you laugh off and reply with, that would be nice. Yeah, definitely the text box froze there. That isn't just me. Wonder what's going on. But those ideas generally end as jokes, so it's crazy when they turn real.
マジも大マジ。吉郎おじさんも大絶賛。昨日のおもちゃ屋での部活、ゲーム中の暴れっぷりは実に見事だったからね。
レナもあんな遊び方や盛り上がり方があるなんて知らなかったかなここだけの話ですけど、私の近くにいた子たち、ケイイチさんと同じ宅で盛り上がりたかったって悔しがってましたのよ。ケイイチは何でも楽しそうに遊ぶことに関しては天才的なのです。
You know, I wasn't just playing around. I was giving it my all because I had no choice but to win. I guess we made it look like a lot of fun for the audience, though. Looks like we've also... What the
確か
fuck?
に、ケ
Huh?
イちゃんは普段の部活においてもとにかくよく盛り上がってくれますからね。
What are you doing here?
監督もケイちゃんがひなみざわファイターズに入ってくれたらさぞや盛り上がるだろうって言ってましたし。言ってましたね。ゆうべ会合の席でも入江先生、前原くんのことをベタ褒めでしたよ。
What the fuck is happening?
ケイイチくんは自分で思ってるよりずっと人を楽しくさせる力があるんだよ。
Can we go back to Rika so she can explain things?
そうかな。
おじさんだって自分の仲間が可愛いからって推薦したわけじゃないよ。ケイちゃんならこの退任にきっと応えられるって思ったから推薦したわけさ。
Aw, shucks.
僕も同じ席にいましたですが、 全然反対意見が出なかったのは驚きだったのです。
前原くんは先生が思っているよりもずっと村中で評判なんですね。
Wow. Contrary to Chapter 1 belief. Sorry, I'm just getting a drink here. Drink of choice for this recording session is body armor. Fruit Punch body armor. I've kind of started making the switch away from Gatorade. I don't know if anybody cares, but I try to have something with me whenever I record.
沖宮界隈でも有名です。先日のひなみざわファイターズと沖宮タイタンズの試合でのあの助っ人ぶりはもはや現地では伝説的ですからね。
あれはすごかったですものね。亀田さん目当ての記者の方々も度肝を抜かれてましたよ。
They're talking about that rigged baseball match I set up with Kameda-kun. The public did end up believing that talented pitcher walked me out of fear for my insight. Kameda-kun and I have entered a strange relationship since then, but I'd really rather not talk about it right now. Everything kind of just comes together, doesn't it?
レナはケイチ君にはその力があると思うな。みーちゃんだけの推薦で足りないならレナも推薦するよ。ケイチ君ならきっと綿流し実行委員の退任を全うできる。
Watanagashi is an annual village festival held in June. Some weird shit going on here with this game. I don't know. Maybe I have something running. I've been feeling kind of sus with my computer recently. It's supposed to be the biggest event in the village, and most of the people living here gather together for it. Since this is a major event, they always organize a committee to plan out the festival a few months in advance. The festival is only 2 weeks away, and I just moved to this village. But now they want me to join that committee?
だいたいよ、俺実行委員の仕事なんて知らないから何の役にも立てないぜ。
実行委員なんて堅苦しいのは肩書きだけだよ。ケイちゃんに満場一致でお願いしたい役はね、ズバリ叩き売りオークションの司会なんだよ。
なんだよそれ、バナナでも売らされるのか。
そこは先生から説明します。
Yeah, please do.
今年のお祭りでは新しい試みとしてオークション風に寄付品の叩き売りをやろうということになったのです。そこは複雑な事情があってね、町会で寄付品を集めてそれを商品にしてのみんなで参加できる何かをやりたいんだけど、過去の役員会でいろいろ大人の事情があって福引き抽選以外の方法で商品を分配したいってことになったんだよ。早い話が昔ばあさんが癇癪を起こしときながら引っ込みがつかなくなったことがあるわけなんです。ばあさんって自分でトラブっときながらよく後悔してますよね。まあね。まあそんなわけで福引き以外のイベントで何か楽しく商品を山分けできないかって話になったわけよ。それで出た案が寄付品の叩き売りオークションってわけ。
オークションってなんだか面白そうだね。ひょっとするとものすごく安くいいものが買えるかもしれないし、他の人が高値をつけ合うのを見てるのも楽しいしね。しかも寄付品だから元手はタダ。実行委員会もなかなかお金儲けがお上手ですわね。売り上げは全部冬の町会温泉旅行の泡麦茶代になるのです。ずるいのです。
フルデさんは泡の出る麦茶はまだまだいけません。
Uh-huh.
だいたい話は見えてきたが、でもよ、俺はオークションの司会なんかやったことないぜ。
でもケイチ君ならきっとやり遂げられると思うな。売り上げの1割はお小遣いになるとか言われたらものすごい頑張りそう。
まあな、実績に応じて何か得られるってんならそりゃ頑張るだろうな。
逆に実績が出なかったらとんでもない罰ゲームが待ってるかもしれませんでしたよ。
Oh shit.
ちょっと待て佐藤、なんで俺がそんなリスキーな条件を引き受けなければならないんだ。そもそも俺は依頼されてる立場だってことを忘れるなよ。俺はこう見えてもスケジュール多忙で忙しいんだぜ。
Yeah, busy with what, Keiichi?
そういうのはマネージャーを通してくれたまえ。
どうよケイちゃん、 もし何かご褒美がないといけないってんなら、内容と条件次第では考えてもいいよ。私もケイちゃんを推薦した以上、何としても引き受けてもらいたいと思ってるからね。最大限配慮するよ。
ほう、太っ腹じゃねえか。さーて何がいいかね。
罰ゲームを何にするかというのはよくあるけど、ご褒美は何がいいってのは初めてかもしれないね。
And now that you mention it, this is quite different.
言われてみればそうですわね。私たちってつくづく過酷な状況で戦ってますのね。
Rena is right. The whole purpose of our club activities is to escape the punishments we come up with. Even if we win, we never get a prize or reward for it.
めったにない美味しい話にケイチが困っていますのです。みーちゃんの方で何か提案できないの？何でもいいよって言われたらかえって思いつかないよね。
そうだね。あ、じゃあこんなとこでどう？エンジェルモートのデザートフェスタの入場券とか。
Oh, it's all coming around.
おねえ、ケチくさいこと言わないで、どーんと3年分くらいプレゼントしちゃえばいいじゃないですか。
あら、それは豪華ではございませんの。
確かデザートフェスタのチケットってものすごい購買率で闇取引もされてるんだろ。そんなの3年分なんて本当にいいのかよ。
もちろん成功報酬だよ。盛り上げてくれないとダメだからね。
大丈夫だよ。ケイチくんならきっと大盛り上がりになる。
それについては私も同感です。というか、どんなめちゃくちゃな売り工場が飛び出すかかなり楽しみです。
たとえタコの入ってないたこ焼きであっても行列させてしまいそうですもんね。
Oh, wow. It's like you can read the future or something.
おいおい、さすがにタコなしたこ焼きは無理だろ。
いやいや、ケイちゃんなら見事売りかねないね。
小麦粉の味が素朴でヘルシーとか言いそう。
お前ら俺をおだててるのかバカにしてるのか微妙だぞ。
どうですか前原くん。先生もあなたならきっとうまく盛り上げてくれると思います。
Chie-sensei was also on the committee. She must have backed up Mion's suggestion when she brought up my name at their last meeting.
僕もケイチの口先マジックが見たいのですよ。見た
バナナの叩き売りだってさ、その売り工場の切符の良さに感服して買わせるわけだしね。
前原ケイチワンマンショーでございましたよ。楽しそうですわね。
おいおい、俺はまだ引き受けると言った覚えはないぞ。
大丈夫だよ。ケイチくんならできるよ。
チェ、レナめ、他人事だと思って。
はあ、そんなつもりじゃないのに。
The principal suddenly opened his mouth.
どうかね前原君、わしも君ならやれると思うぞ。
Well, now that you mention it.
男なら一つみんなの期待に応えてみんかね。
Wait, is that real? If I had to, I'm sure I could do it. Mion has made me do so many different things for the club, and I've learned a lot from that. Besides, this would be the first time I could get a reward without having to worry about punishment. It should be fun too. This was the first time so many people were counting on me like this. To be honest, it made me pretty happy. Still, I was worried about getting dragged into something that required a lot of work. I couldn't erase that thought from my mind. But I was in Hinamizawa. The people in this village would never do anything to betray me. Yeah. They genuinely believed that it would do a lot to liven up the festival if I became the host of their auction. I've only been here for a short period of time, but I know that the people here are honest and kind.
よっしゃ、俺も男だぜ。そこまで言われちゃ引き受けないわけにはいかないな。見てろよ、俺がやるからにはドカンと盛り上げてやるぜ。エンジェルモートのチケットを忘れるなよ。3年どころか10年分くらい進呈したくなるくらいに盛り上げてやるぜ。
Well, if the place is still in business, and if there's people around to honor that.
よく言ってくれたケイち
Everyone gave me a round of applause. How many times has this happened in my life? Not once. This was the first time I'd ever been applauded.
しかしよ、よく俺みたいな若造を推薦して町会の人が納得してくれたよな。
There are lots of old people in the village committee. I'm a young guy who only just moved here. I've known for a while that Mion has a lot of influence locally, but I couldn't believe that everyone in the committee would accept it just like that.
まあ基本的には頭の固い年寄り連中ばっかりですけどね。時代も徐々に変わり始めてるってことです。Hinamizawaもダム戦争に打ち勝って、これからは新しい時代を築き、どんどん栄えさせていかなくちゃならない。だから若者歓迎、よそ者飛び入り大歓迎って風にどんどん意識改革をしていかなくちゃならないんだよ。
圭一は若くてよそ者で、しかも受けがいいので、まさにぴったりなのですよ。
受けがいいね。どうして俺の知名度がそんなに高いのか不思議でならねえぜ。
多分みーちゃんの罰ゲームと密接な関係があると思うかな。
やっぱりそれか
Haha.
じゃあこれで決まりですね。先生の方から今夜前原くんのご両親に電話でお話ししますので、一応前原くんの方からもご両親にこの度の件を話しておいてください。
I'm sure my parents will have no problem with it. They won't have any objections to raise, at least. They might ask me why my name was brought up, though. Chie-sensei and the principal went back to the teacher's office after the discussion ended. We were in the middle of lunch break at the moment. Chie-sensei and the principal had come along together, and Mion scared me by saying that they all had something to talk to me about. My stomach wasn't digesting my lunch particularly well.
前原さん、聞いてましたよ。すごいじゃないですか。
Well, yeah, this was a loud-ass conversation happening here in the middle of the classroom. Who wasn't going to hear it?
教会から推薦を受けるなんてすごい名誉ですよ。
I'm sure the fucking forestry staff upstairs or around the building, if there are any, or if not, still they're gonna fucking hear about it.
おう、富田君に岡村君か。そんな名誉なら君らに譲ってもいいぞ。
無理ですよ。前原さんじゃなくちゃ務まらないです。
I realized the whole class was talking about me. They were saying how fun Watanagashi was going to be and how their high expectations were for it. I might have taken on a huge responsibility. I needed to do my best to succeed at it.
そうだ忘れてた。うちのバッチャがね、いっぱいおはぎを作ったんだよ。学校のみんなにも食べてもらえって持ってこさせられたんだっけ。
Mion clapped her hands as she remembered and took a box out of her bag. She opened the lid, letting us see a bunch of ohagi neatly packed inside.
たくさん入っていますのね。
None with a needle inside, right?
クラス全員に食べていただけそうなくらいありますわよ。はうかわいい、おいしそう。
バッチャはおはぎを作るのが大好きなんですよ。どういうわけか。
宗平が大好きだったのですよ。
ああ、じっちゃが好きだったらしいね。山盛り食べたらしいよ。
じゃあみーちゃんのおばあちゃんにとってはおはぎは亡くなったおじいちゃんを思い出す大切なものなんだね。
そうなの？じっちゃが好きなのって缶詰だと思ってました。シオンは缶詰がダメなんだよね。
あ、そうなの？どうして？
缶詰臭と言いますか。
Wasn't this brought up before? It sounds very
あの
familiar.
独特の鉄臭さがどうも苦手で。
あら、人に嫌がるかぼちゃを無理やり食べさせて好き嫌いはいけないとか言ってる人が随分な話でございますのね。
ふふん、実はね。ちょっとおねえ、人が嫌がることを言うなんて最低ですよ。
なんだかわからんが、ミオンが珍しく握ったシオンの弱みらしいな。 面白いから普段の恨みを晴らせ。ほれほれ。
The reason why Shion doesn't like canned food must have been something pretty funny. The two sisters battled for a while. God damn, what the fuck? The machine gun knee kicks Mion launched from close quarters weren't bad, but I don't think she expected Shion to land a capture suplex off of it. I guess Shion is the stronger one of the two siblings.
お姉に言われるくらいなら自分で言います。ですね、葛西っていうたちの悪い親父がいましてね。
He's not a bad guy.
そいつがですね、純粋無垢だった幼い私にですね、缶詰の中にはたまに人間の肉が混じっているとか、とんでもないことを吹き込みやがったせいなんです。
都市伝説にたまにそういうのがあるね。
あるある。俺たちのとこでも牛丼の肉は実は犬の肉だとか、ハンバーガーにはミミズの肉が混じってるとか聞いたことあるぜ。
そんな話がありますの？そんなの聞いてしまったらもう牛丼もハンバーガーも食べられなくなりますわね。
そうなんですよ、さとこ。私はトラウマを負わされた犠牲者なんです。
同情はしますけど、かぼちゃフルコースの恨みと相殺するにはまだだいぶ足りませんわね。さとこは根に持ちすぎなのですよ。僕は美味しくてペロリだったのです。
なんだかよ、そんな話をしてるとさ、このミオンのおはぎにも何か妙なものが混じってそうな気がしてくるよな。
ほう、確かにこの私が持ってきたおはぎだもんね。中に何の細工もないってのは確かに不用心だよね。
Ohagi that Mion brought. When you consider that, it's only natural to suspect that she probably did something to them. What's going on? I felt like I was forgetting something, but I didn't remember anything that I was forgetting. Oh shit. It was like one of those deja vu moments. I'd never been in this situation, but my mind was telling me that I'd been there before.
どうしたのですか、ケイチ？
いや、なんでもないよ。前にもミオンにおはぎをもらったことがあったような気がしたんだけど、これが初めてだよな。
そうなの？みーちゃん。
いや、これが初めてだと思うな。何かの勘違いじゃない？
私の記憶でもミオンさんが学校におはぎを持ってきたのは今年はこれが初めてのはずでしたよ。
ははん、わかった。おじさんが持ってきたおはぎだもんだから、何か罠があると思って警戒してるんでしょう。そこは威張るとこじゃなくて、日頃のお姉のそこを反省すべきとこだと思いますけど。
そうだよな。同じおはぎでもレナとかが作ったおはぎなら絶対そんな風には思わない。レナっておはぎ作るの何気に上手なんだよな。小さいけど丁寧で。
レナ、おはぎなんて作ったことないよ。
What? What was I saying? Why did I say that Rena had made ohagi before? Why would I know that Rena makes her ohagi small but neatly? I had no idea where that memory was coming from. I could only assume it was an error in my brain. Mion was saying that this was her first time bringing ohagi to class. As I tilted my head in confusion, everyone started reaching inside the box. Rena took out one for me and put it on the lid. I stared at it closely. What was I so concerned about? Mion said that I was probably concerned that she did something to the ohagi. But it wasn't quite that. I really didn't know how to explain it. I felt like I was forgetting something important. I'd forgotten something important. And all I had was the obligation to remember it. In front of me was nothing but a single ohagi that came from Mion's house. I was frustrated, but I really couldn't think of anything. There's no way I could remember it, because I didn't know anything.
ケイチ、さっきからおはぎをじっと見てどうしましたのですか？
いや、デジャブだっけ、既視感だっけ、ほらたまにないか。 初めて見るものなのにさ、過去にすでに見ていたように感じる時って。
Oh, more than you know, Keiichi.
ケイイチは過去にもミオンにおはぎをもらったように感じるのですか？
でも気のせいだよな。ミオン自身そんなことは覚えがないって言ってるしさ。
ケイイチ、ありもしない記憶なんてありませんです。もしケイイチが覚えているのなら、それは本当にあったことなのですよ。
Rika-chan told me something strange. I didn't usually take her random comments seriously, but ever since I saw her making those predictions in the toy store, I've been curious about her special powers. I felt like she was telling me something deep.
へへ、大予言のリカちゃまが言うと、なんだか不思議な感じがしてくるな。それってつまり、輪廻転生とかそういう話なんだろ？
僕は宗教のことはよくわかりませんです。ただ、僕が言いたいのは、ケイイチが知っていることなら、それはあったことなのです。だからそれを思い出してほしい。気のせいだと片付けないで記憶としてほしい。僕が何を言っているのかわかりますですか？
I was a little surprised by how serious she sounded. I always thought that Rika was just an innocent girl who fooled around all the time, saying things like meep and nipa. But what the fuck, game? Why are you doing that? But all of a sudden, she seemed like a totally different girl. Was I supposed to take it as a joke? The serious look on her face told me it wasn't the time for jokes, though.
リカちゃんがそう言うなら、じゃあ俺は別の世界とかでミオンにおはぎをもらったことがあるんだろうな。
バカにしませんから、全部話してください。どこでどうして、なぜミーにおはぎをもらうのですか？
いつどこでどうしてなんて具体的に聞かれれば聞かれるほど、やっぱり妄想だったんだなって思っちゃうよ。寝ぼけて見た夢なのかもしれないな。
夢でもいいのです。もっと覚えてるはずなのです。話してください。
What was up with her? She seemed so curious about it. I didn't think this story was that interesting. Her asking so much started making me feel uncomfortable. Still, something told me that I needed to talk to Rika-chan about everything I could. Maybe she could predict my future by reading my dreams. I should tell her everything. After all, she's the shrine maiden for Oyashiro-sama.
な。
Okay, we're actually gonna save it here. Yeah, I have no idea what is going on with the game. Or maybe it's my computer. The reason why I was bringing that up is because I was recording Persona, which is what I record off of my capture card, and as I was editing it, I saw that there were moments where the game froze. But that wasn't on my end, so the capture had an issue, but the signal to my computer, or I should say my monitor, did not, so I never noticed anything. But now that I'm recording this directly onto my computer, seeing freezes is not normal. Yeah, if you guys ever notice like any hiccups or anything with my recordings, please tell me. Like, just like shoot me a comment or a message on Discord, please, by all means. But that aside, what an episode. These past couple episodes have been pretty interesting because they seem like, oh, this is the beginning of a Higurashi game. It's going to be slice of life, a little bit of fun. I think we're totally past that. They are trying to mix in a little bit of that, but it sort of seems like the overarching deal here, no matter what, is Rika trying to most likely change fate and figure out how we can get past all this shit. It seems we're finally at that point where we understand that this story always starts off with Keiichi and the gang doing stupid dumb shit up to the Watanagashi festival. We don't need to repeat any of that. We don't need any more of that. We can understand that that's going to happen anyways in so many different ways. I guess at this point, we're just kind of seeing any lead-ups to different things occurring, which I think is pretty great. And the whole changing fate thing kind of brings me back to, I think it was chapter 3. I think it was the chapter 3, like the casting call or whatever, where the cast of characters got together and they were talking about their predictions. I don't remember what their predictions were, to be honest. It's been too long. But what I do remember is that They were thinking, oh, if we just fixed all these things that were happening that led to tragedy, then all would be good. That kind of stuck with me for a while. I don't know why. I didn't think that it was a multiple worlds thing, but I did bring up a few times back then that, you know, if we could treat this like a visual novel, like a traditional visual novel with choices where different events occur based on your choices, then you could technically prevent tragedy. And that's what they were going on about. That's literally what's happening now. Anyways, I'm tired of this white screen and looking at nothing really. We'll end it here. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, all that fancy jazz. Next time we'll see what Keiichi could come up with and what other mystical bullshit will come up with it as well. See you guys then. Take it easy.